There's no gainsaying the fact that indigenous technology plays a great role in national development, and we're going to evaluate how that has taken place in Nigeria in some decades now. So good evening and welcome to Weekend File. Indigenous technology constitutes important part of any nation, and in Nigeria it was the mainstay of the economy in the pre-colonial era. Then there were acquisition of diverse skills that led to proliferation of traditional industries such as blacksmithing, wood carving, textile weaving, dyeing, leatherworks, and many more. And over the years, there has been tremendous advancement in technological development globally, requiring local technology to grow in line with modernity and emerging societal problems. Pursuant to the needed advancement in Nigeria, many research institutes were established, and there have been many breakthroughs in their respective areas of research. But the snag is that most of the research results have not been accorded the necessary scale-up that can stimulate massive production of machinery and other science-driven products that can add value to other sectors of the economy. But with the advent of COVID-19, many institutions rose up to the challenge by producing required products for the prevention of the spread of the virus, such as disinfectant sprayers, automated hand washing and drying machines, as well as the sanitizers, which is a clear indication that the nation has what it takes to grow the economy via local technology. Tonight, we take a closer look at the local technology and national growth. And my guest is Dr. Mohammed Jibrin, the Director General of the National Board for Technology Incubation. My name is Kirin Umayo. The program now begins with the news. The All Progressives Congress, APC, is asking the people of Edo State to prepare for better life as they support the party and its candidate, Pastor Osage Ize Iyamu, in the September 19 governorship election in that state. It was at the flag-off rally of the party's governorship campaigns in Benin. Ogochikuka Ona was there for NTA News.
Absolutely the best.
It was a gathering of supporters from the nooks and crannies of the state. Right from the entrance of the venue to the sports complex, different groups registered their presence in solidarity with the party. The chairman, caretaker committee of the party, May Malabuni, presented the candidates to the people.
We are here to take back our mandate, to take back our state. 4 years ago, we were here. We have voted for APC, but we have no doubt in our minds we are going to vote for APC and return our mandate back to the state. From hamlet to hamlet, from village to village, from town to town, and within metropolitan Benin. From the crowd we have seen, we have to conclude that this election will be won by APC.
Pastor Osage Ize Iyamu assured the people that they have nothing to worry about, as it will be progress all the way for them if voted in.
Let me assure you, never again will we have a governor as an ingrate. We will have a governor that will respect the Edo people.
Amen.
A governor that will develop our states. A governor that will empower our people. And by the grace of God, I will do it.
The message from the immediate past national chairman of the party and former governor of the state, Adams Oshomole, is that the party's flag bearer will right the wrongs.
The business of governors and of government to empower the poor and elevate them to a position of dignity. When you have a governor who was unknown, who turned down on his people, if you turn down on your people, God will turn down on you.
The campaign team was also at the palace of the Oba of Benin to seek royal blessing.
I want to reiterate and re-emphasize that our 3 prayer points in the palace Biological extension means that the Benin throne is non-partisan. We must be father to everybody.
In Benin, Ogochkuka Ona, NTA News.
The presidency has responded to the allegations by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, on the candidate of the APC for the Edo governorship election. Ruth Agole has more on that.
The presidency has responded to the allegations by the People's Democratic Party on the candidate of the APC, Pastor Osage Izeyamo, for the Edo governorship election. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the People's Democratic Party, which has been struggling to clear its name from alleged deals with the underworld in Dubai and the United States, has no voice to attack the anti-corruption war of the Buhari's administration, following the president's endorsement of Pastor Osage Izeyamo of the All Progressives Congress for the governorship election in Edo State. It further adds that the PDP has forgotten its own history and antecedents, following a statement by the PDP, and I quote, "The president ought to have been aware that the candidate is standing trial for corruption," end of quote, and then went on to attack the government's war against corruption, alleging its failure. The presidency said, let PDP first withdraw the governorship nominations it gave to Ahmadu Fintiri and Bala Mohammed of Adamawa and Bauchi states respectively, before lashing out on the efforts of this administration in fighting corruption, as both PDP governors were actually on bail from criminal trial on several counts of fraud and embezzlement. On July 1st, 2016, the former acting governor of Adamawa State, Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, was granted bail by the Federal High Court, Abuja. He was charged on June 30, 2016, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, alongside his company, Mayem Construction and Properties Limited, on a 5-count charge of money laundering to the tune of 2.9 billion naira. Also, in the case of Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi State, on May 10, 2017, was arraigned before the Federal Capital Territory High Court, sitting in Gudu, Abuja, on a 6-count charge bordering on abuse of office, false declaration of assets, and fraud to the tune of 864 million naira. According to the PDP, the presidency says Pastor Izeyamo is being persecuted by the EFCC alongside Lucky Maswen, former deputy governor of Edo State, Chief Dan Obi, PDP chairman in Edo State, and other leaders of the party in the state, Tony Azigbemi and Efe Erimwoge. Under the country's law, the statement emphasized only the courts can convict. A suspect remains a suspect until conviction. But if, in the view of the PDP, a suspect is guilty as charged, then they must show examples by withdrawing the nomination of their governors and the party's numerous senators and other legislators standing trial in various courts of the country. This cleanup drive by President Buhari's administration, it added, will only speed up with the ongoing investigations and trials. The current administration's cleansing exercise of the government, politics and economy in line with the zero tolerance for corruption will not be distracted.
The national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has described the recent actions of the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, as an assault on constitutional democracy and the rule of law. He was reacting to the recent political events in Edo State. Olabode Arewa tells us more about it.
Describing the legislature as an important arm of government, which should be accorded its rightful place in the scheme of things, Asuwaju Bola Tinubu said Governor Obaseki's refusal to inaugurate 2/3 of the elected members of the Edo State House of Assembly amounted to a rape on democracy that is capable of escalating violence in the state. Tinubu accused Governor Obaseki of sponsoring hoodlums to destroy parts of the House of Assembly building in Benin, spending public funds to defeat the will of the public. This, Tinubu said, was a tragic, cowardly, and perverse action capable of thwarting representative democracy in Edo State because no renovation work was slated for the Assembly building. Asuwaju Bola Tinubu said, by his refusal to permit duly members of the Assembly to perform their constitutional duties tells a lot about the governor's ignorance of the Constitution, noting that the legislature in all democracies remain the most important symbol of democratic governance. Although the governor's conduct is undoubtedly impeachable, Tinubu said Obaseki will soon learn the cost of this grave miscalculation, as the rule of law and preservation of democracy is too important to be sacrificed at the altar of any man's ambition, adding that his woeful leadership of Edo State will hopefully be brought to an end soon by the very people whose rights he has so carelessly trampled upon. Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has reached an accord with its partners, China National Offshore Oil Company and South Atlantic Petroleum, to settle all outstanding issues surrounding the development of oil mining lease. In its bid to meet the target of reviving production to 3 million barrels per day and unlock gas revenues to the tune of about $225 million in the short term and $510 in the long term for the Federation. Speaking at the signing of the head of terms agreement with the partners at the NNPC Towers, Abuja, the group managing director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, said the deal was part of the corporation's production sharing contracts PLC dispute resolution and renewal strategy of 2017, aimed at securing out-of-court settlement of all disputes around the 1993 production sharing contracts and agreeing on terms for their renewal. A press release by the corporation's Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Dr. Kenny Obateru, explains that the dispute arose from recognition of certain costs on the discordant interpretation of the physical terms of the production sharing contracts PSC by NNPC and the contractor parties. With the resolution and signing of the head of terms HOT document, which sets out the terms agreement in principle between parties, it will enable settlement of renewal fees and create an environment conducive to further development of OML 130 with associated benefits to the Federation. Mele Kyari said NNPC is doing this with every other partner in the PSC dispute. He is optimistic that the HOT will clearly position the NNPC and partners to proceed and have a full settlement that will benefit all. He commended China National Offshore Oil Company and Sepetrol for their understanding. The managing director of CNOC, Mr. Zhe Zhenwenhen, said the agreement has opened a new chapter in his company's relationship with NNPC, stressing that it has provided a win-win situation for all parties on his part. Managing Director of Sepetrol, Mr. Toyin Adenoga, said the resolution of the dispute was a very important step towards further development of OML 130 and other new fields, as the terms are now clearly spelled out. 325 Nigerians arrived at Abuja and Lagos from USA 6th evacuation flight with Ethiopian airline ET509 on Saturday, 8th August 2020 from Newark, New Jersey. The flight departed on Friday, 7th August 2020 by 21:45 hours and estimated to arrive at Abuja by 13:45 hours and Lagos by 16:30 hours on Saturday, 8th August. The flight manifest includes 128 male and 174 female and 23 infants, with a total of 101 passengers for Abuja, 224 for Lagos. Foundation stone for a 200-bed capacity reference hospital for the military has been laid in Ebonyi State. Ijoma Peter Wante reports that the groundbreaking ceremony was performed by Governor David Umahi, accompanied by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai. Now, the increasing cases of child abuse and violation in different parts of Nigeria calls for proactive measures to enforce the domestication and implementation of Child Rights Act in all states of the Federation. Minister of Women Affairs Paul laid credence to this at the inauguration of the Secretariat of National Child Rights Act Implementation Committee in Abuja. Ngozi Silva Tekikio reports.
For most girls, such as Rejoice, who hugs banana to assist her parents and 6 siblings, vulnerability to rape or similar abuses is not an impossibility. The same story goes with Amina and Blessing, among many Nigerian children who engages in one menial job or the other to support the economic condition of their families.
To help my parents so that they can pay my school fees.
Though some are excited in what they do, others feel exploited and their rights being infringed upon. To curb the negative trend of violence and abuses against children, especially the girl child, is why the National Child Rights Act Implementation Committee is re-inaugurated.
The problem of rape and domestic violence is very, very high. And unless we have these laws in place, implementation will be a problem.
So I want to assure that this committee will become very vibrant, particularly with the commissioning of this secretariat.
Other objectives of the NCRIC is to resuscitate similar ailing committees in states and facilitate domestication of the act in the remaining 10 states who are yet to do so. In Abuja, Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
The Senate has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for assenting to the Companies and Allied Matters Bill passed by the National Assembly. A statement by the Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, Senator Ajibola Basiru, says the President's assent was also a clear demonstration of the mutual cooperation between the executive arm of government and the National Assembly towards interventions aimed at improving the nation's economy through ease of doing business. The statement noted that the amended KAMA law specifically accommodates provisions which insist on the disclosure of persons with significant control of companies in a register of beneficial owners to enhance corporate accountability and transparency. It expressed the willingness of the Senate to continue in line with its constitutional mandate to make laws for the peace, order, and good governance of the Federation. And similarly, the House of Representatives says the signing into law of the Companies and Allied Matters Bill by President Muhammadu Buhari will further improve economic activities in the country. In a statement, the Chairman, House Committee on Media and Publicity, Representative Benjamin Kalu, stressed that the 9th House of Reps will continue to deploy strategic legislation interventions to improve governance. He described as a landmark the signing of the KAMA bill by President Buhari, noting that it shows the resolve of both chambers of the National Assembly to work with the executive to improve businesses in Nigeria. Kalu pointed out that the law, aside facilitating the ease of doing business policy of the federal government, it will also enhance investments. The President General, Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar, says the Council and the Sultanate will continue to support the sustenance of peace, stability, and progress in Nigeria. The monarch was speaking while receiving the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, who visited him. The Hatu Abdullahi reports.
Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar said as traditional leaders, they will continue to support the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari to further guarantee more success of his governance. He challenged Nigerians on tolerance and love for one another in spite of diversities. He commended the Inspector General of Police, other security chiefs, and the Minister of Police Affairs in containing security challenges in the country. The Sultan also enjoined Nigerians to continue to support and cooperate with security operatives, as security is everybody's business.
We pray to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring peace and stability to our various communities, our various states, and our country.
The President has directed us to come over specifically to express his happiness and to further express his gratitude over all the support you have over time been extending to his government, with particular reference to security matters and associated suggestions that you have been rendering, which have proven very positive in establishing the desired peace in this country.
The Minister of Justice was led to the Sultan's Palace by Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. In Sokoto, Dalatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
People from all walks of life converged on the residence of Waziri in Sokoto to witness the wedding fatiha of the daughters of former Nigeria's ambassador to South Africa, Shehu Malami. Abdulrahman Usman Jibrila was there and now reports.
The wedding fatiha solemnized between Abubakar Musa and Zainab Shehu Fodio, with Haruna Alifika tying the knots with Aisha Shehu Fodio. Both marriages were contracted after the payment of 50,000 naira dowry for each. President Muhammadu Buhari was represented at the event by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, who gave out the hand of Aisha, while Wazir in Sokoto, Professor Sambo Wali Junaid, gave out Zainab. Dignitaries that graced the event include Governors of Sokoto Amin Waziri Tambuwal, Edo Godwin Obaseki, Minister of Police Affairs Muhammad Megari Dingyadi, Inspector General of Police Muhammad Abubakar Adamu, former governors, families and associates. Some of the dignitaries advised the couples this way.
And I join His Excellency the President in congratulating them as well. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this marriage.
To have patience with each other. The issue of marriage, the situations that would come that would need patience.
In any marriage or in any union, there might be hiccups. And the best way to solve such hiccups is to sit down between the two of them and solve it.
They should behave to each other. We're expected to behave very well and grow up responsible people to look after each other.
My advice to them was to continue to communicate and understanding there's no perfect person on earth.
A post-reception was organized by Sokoto State Government in honor of the guests. In Sokoto, Abdulrahman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
Indigenous technology for economic growth is our focus tonight on Weekend File. And the Director General of the National Board for Technology Incubation, Dr. Mohammed Jibrin, is our guest. I will be engaging him in a conversation, but that will be after this break. Stay with us.
ICPC and NTA say you can help Nigeria to flatten the curve on COVID-19, just as you can help flatten the curve on corruption. Follow transparency, accountability, and integrity just as you follow health guidelines. Stay home with integrity and maintain your distance from corruption, just as you stay away from COVID-19 by maintaining social distance. Report every act of corruption to ICPC just as you report COVID-19 to NCDC. Stay away from corruption. Stay safe from COVID-19. Report any act of corruption to ICPC on toll-free number 0800-2255-4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
All right, you're welcome back. Nigeria is endowed with an abundance of human and natural resources, and exploiting these for the benefit of the nation is the primary objective of the Buhari administration. And enhancing the capacity of research institutions is among the measures adopted towards achieving the plan. Our Yusuf Jibo takes a look at activities of one of Nigeria's foremost indigenous research institutes in Lagos.
There are clear indications that great nations are not made by the abundance of resources inherent in them, but by the application of the technical know-how in the production of goods, processes, and services. The present administration is focused on bringing an end to near total dependence on importation of finished products by promoting the local content value chain. Institutions such as the Federal Institute for Industrial Research, Oshodi, is effectively driving this goal.
Here in Firo, we have been able to make it for easy understanding into 4 focus areas. That is research and development into food and agro-allied processing. And we have also done research. The second area of focus is into pulp and paper processing. The third one is into development into packaging and product design.
Standing before here is rice stoner. What it does is to clean rice that is, in the rural area where they process rice, the end result is rice with stone and some other debris, some other impurities. So what this one does is to remove impurities and then remove the stone.
Kingsley Mbogu is a young Nigerian taxpayer who has keyed into the use of innovative technology to carve a niche for himself, be an employer of labor, thereby boosting the nation's economy.
There are a lot of options going on in the market, so you need to really put in more effort to stand out, to make a difference.
Joseph Jato is another young Nigerian making a name for himself.
The sugar, the salt, and the maize are all local content. Everything we use in our bread are all local content.
Limitless others, like Kingsley and Joseph, abound in Nigeria, and the federal government, through relevant agencies, has set up platforms where they can thrive and cultivate for national development. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
While Nigeria is making breakthroughs in research and development of indigenous technologies, with many local geniuses coming up with great ideas and inventions which, if properly harnessed, can solve the country's socio-economic challenges. Funding has, however, been described as one of the challenges hindering the growth of indigenous technologies. Let's now bring in Salwa Khalil Ibrahim.
Year in, year out, individuals and institutions put in their time and resources to churn out brilliant ideas and creations which could be the solution to some of Nigeria's problems in environment, health, agriculture, education, infrastructure, among others. Most times, however, these inventions end up on the shelves as prototypes, mainly due to lack of funding. Even with the 2020 capital expenditure for science and technology, which stands at about 37 billion naira, and other foreign and local grant, which is set to come with stringent conditions for applicants, experts say increased funding remains key for research and development of local content.
It will help in opening industries, small-scale industries, where you can see there are young innovators, people that are young. They have already acquired from schools. They have acquired from, skills acquisition centers.
In 2018, President Muhammadu Buhari signed an executive order for the promotion of Nigerian content, science, engineering and technology, which is expected to, among other things, encourage indigenous infrastructural producers with incentives including single-digit interest on loans.
Most of the research work that we do in the ministries are underfunded. We're trying to overcome it, to tell them, look, there's no need to fear.
With adequate funding of research and development of indigenous technologies, indigenous inventions can be sufficient for local and even international consumption and stand at par with foreign inventions. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Edo State is famous for its arts and crafts. This indigenous technology is an integral part of the culture and history of the people. Obehi Otobo reports on the economic impact of the industry and its challenges.
Arts and craftsmanship among the Edos, especially the Benins, dates back as far as the 1440s. The artistic ingenuity of the Benins gained international recognition after thousands of Benin artifacts were carted away by the colonialists.
One of the things that attracted the colonialists or people from different parts of Europe to Benin was her arts. We have bronze as a principal part of our art. We have ivory carving as part. We have wood carving which came in the 30s, the ebony. Ebony is as good as a bronze because it does not decay.
Actual innovations of craft making started in the reign of the Obas. The Benin bronze has been here for as long as the kingdom. And when you see the process of bronze making, you will wonder how such crude method can produce masterpieces.
This industry has not only helped to document the history and showcase the rich culture and tradition of the people, but also generates income for thousands of families through sales and tourism.
This is a typical ponding section where the raw materials for bronze casting is processed, to where until it gets to the table or the workshop of the sculptor.
In those days, we used bellow. Now, battery. And you see the other blower. In those days, it wasn't like that.
However, like other sectors, this technology has been affected by the coronavirus pandemic.
Without missing words, before now, this business used to be very lucrative. But today, opposite is the answer.
The passage of time has had little or no impact on the techniques deployed in making some of these works. In Benin, Obehi Otuba Presai, NTA News.
Thank you indeed to Obehi. And right here, I have the Director General of the National Board for Technology Incubation, Dr. Mohammed Jibrin. So you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right. An economy like ours, where is the place of indigenous technology and innovation?
Well, when you say indigenous technology, you refer to the technologies that you can see around as well as other innovative efforts. You move around the town, you see cities, villages, you see people making things. And these people have not even been to the school. And by the time you move to the universities, you see the people from the academia promoting indigenous technologies through infusion of knowledge. And with that, R&D, that is research and development, comes into being. And at the end of the day, most of these indigenous technologies become driven by the research and development whose results have now become or can become innovations. Innovations are inventions that can be taken to the market. At the end of the day, these local technologies become knowledge-driven goods and services that can create jobs, that can create wealth, that can reduce poverty all over the country. So in the National Board for Technology Incubation, we have taken local inventions, that is the innovative efforts, seriously in such a way that they can be driven by knowledge to create value-added goods and services.
All right. In Nigeria here, we have several research institutes.
Yes.
Some of them are mandated, of course, to carry out research in different aspects of technological development or scientific development, if you like.
Yes. Yes.
And for so many years, these institutes churn out several research results, most of which are still, in the shelves of such institutions. Nothing has happened because, of course, it is believed that such will be translated, to products, machinery, and other science-driven products. So why has it been so over the years that the moving the research results to the floor of the manufacturing sector has been a huge challenge?
Actually, when we say the little or no attention is given, we need to be very careful. In the recent years, government has realized the need to pursue research and development results. Even the university community are now establishing institutional-based technology incubation centers, where the lecturers, being the researchers, will be part of the commercialization of the research. Students have now realized that interfaculty communication, I am referring to the communication between the faculties of technology as well as businesses. Now they have started talking, they are coming up with bankable business plans. Some of the products and services are coming to become real, capable of contributing to the economy, capable of substituting what is imported or what can be imported. The only thing is we have a lot of things still in the shelf, and government needs to come and do more so that all these R&D results that are in the shelves can come out for commercialization, either through incubation in the technology incubation centers or direct via other supports. In the National Board for Technology Incubation, we have, as I speak, 36 technology incubation centers, with one located in each of the states of the Federation. And on account, we have now so far counted over 4,000 products, which I believe is more than any supermarket you can think of in the country. All products of inventions and innovations. We have documented numerous intellectual properties. Unfortunately, we are yet to see any vibrant IP, intellectual property policy in the country. When we have one on ground, that means we can straight pay attention to commercialization, and a situation will now arise when even the universities will be generating funds from intellectual property activities.
All right.
As done in other advanced countries, yes.
All right. That's still a missing gap. But what is important that you have said is the fact that the current administration has shown a sufficient interest in ensuring that research results are commercialized.
Yes.
All right. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, the conversation will continue. This is Nigerian Family. Now, we'll be back very shortly.
She cries. She cries in anguish and in pain. She bears the scourge of her grief. She toils in vain for justice and succumbs to silence. He gloats over his malady. Like a beast, he pounces with no remorse. Her cry means nothing. Her pain feeds her shame. Like an orphan, she's left to grieve in solitude. But no more will she cry in vain. Her adversaries will henceforth bear the brunt of their cruelty. Rape is evil. Rape is a plague, a pandemic of monumental consequences. We must unite and kick it out of our society.
Connect with NTA and stand against rape and rapists. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Now, the widespread apathy among Nigerians for indigenous technologies have been identified as the bane of the nation's science and technology sector. Despite government's commitment towards Nigeria's technological advancement, investment in that sector from the private sector has not been quite impressive. Amechi Piles examines some of the challenges in this sector in Enugu State.
Nigeria's socio-economic prosperity has over the years been tied to a monoproduct crude oil, even as successive governments have made efforts to explore other non-oil areas to grow the economy. Science and technology is one sector with huge potential for the nation's economic growth and development. This sector has suffered years of poor funding, investors' apathy, and Nigerians' penchant for foreign scientific innovations over the locally developed technologies. In Enugu State, the Scientific Equipment Development Institute is one agency that has continued to provide science equipment for Nigeria's industrial growth.
Because we are more interested in foreign products. So that is why, research is very costly. So I think that is what is actually the problem of R&D in the country.
Thousands of operators of small and medium enterprises have benefited from the Institute's technologies. Government, through the Technology Incubation Center in Enugu, is also providing a platform for research and development through the commercialization of technological innovations, as explained by the manager of the center.
We have an entrepreneur who developed fire retardant, wood cell cure. We were able to link him with Peace Mass. There was an agreement, and Peace has taken over and generated over 2,500 jobs.
Watchers of the industry believe that a lot more can be achieved when government policies are geared towards promoting a considerable investment from the private sector in research and development for the development of scientific equipment. In Enugu, Amechi Pius, NTA News.
And in Kaduna State, the race for technological breakthroughs as a response to the coronavirus challenges has been embraced early enough with success stories to tell. Now, Achari Maxwell chronicles some of the innovations and now reports.
Since the declaration of coronavirus as a global pandemic by the World Health Organization, concerns have grown higher, with medical experts asserting clearly that there is no known cure for the virus. Preventive measures such as regular hand washing, physical distancing, and wearing of face masks remain the surest safeguards against contracting the virus. Since then, organizations put on their thinking caps, especially in the production of personal protective equipment to complement government's effort. In this region, the Nigerian Defense Academy, the Nigerian Air Force, and the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria set the pace with their inventions of critical equipment for prevention and management of the virus.
So we believe that homegrown technology is better because you have these parts readily available, you have the knowledge to maintain it if there's any problem, and you have the capacity to build the number that you want to build without depending on somebody.
Hospitals like Barrow Dikko teaching hospitals were not left out as they ventured into the production of alcohol-based hand sanitizers and face masks.
For instance, we have the face mask, as you can see on my face, which covers my mouth and nose. It's made from fabrics. It's made of 2 layers, and in between we have a filter at the center here. So, and we have made it and distributed to all of our staff in the hospital to wear whenever they're within the hospital premises and also outside the hospital premises.
As the global communities await the breakthrough for both cure and preventive vaccines against the deadly virus, experts still believe that staying at home, among other measures, remains the strongest weapon to win the war against COVID-19. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
Thank you, Achari. Now, we're still for National Board for Technology Incubation, Dr. Jibrin. Tell us more about technology incubation in Nigeria. Of course, you highlighted a little bit of what your programs are, and that you have centers, training centers for entrepreneurs in different parts of the country. I've been privileged to visit Kano and Mina and Nnewi at some point. Right, and what I understood actually is the fact that you are training entrepreneurs in different aspects of technological, development. Some are involved in different arts and crafts and what have you, different skills and what have you. Then when they pass out, what happens? Give us an idea, because this is where you are incubating younger generation of Nigerians in science-driven, science and technology-driven products.
See, technology incubation program is an integrated program provided by governments, academia, and the private sector to provide a platform for nurturing enterprises that are knowledge-driven, for nurturing researches and development results, for nurturing ideas that come from nothing towards becoming something. It is the yardstick used all over the world to measure the level of the economic development. In Nigeria, it is a program provided between the federal, state governments, as well as the organized private sector. While the federal government provides the technology focus, the funding, as well as provision of specialized facilities like equipment, laboratories, and workshops, the state are the hosts. They provide the fitting environment and the basic infrastructure. After the basic infrastructure, they maintain as well as make input to ensure that enterprises are really nurtured in line with the policy, function structures, and operation guidelines of the technology incubation program. Usually, an entrepreneur that has a value-added initiative applies to the Technology Incubation Center. That application is censored. By the time we are convinced that it will add to the economic value, then we admit that entrepreneur for a period of not more than 24 months, during which that entrepreneur will be nurtured free from pre-incubation, which is about articulating business technology plans, that is feasibility report, business plans, monitoring and evaluation, as well as other ingredients necessary for the success of that idea, including thorough knowledge of the market, acceptability, as far as that particular product is concerned. Okay. So by the time we are convinced, then next thing is to admit him into the real incubation within the center for the remaining period. Where, for example, that particular entrepreneur comes from far away from the center, we normally admit him under what we call extended incubation. That is a virtual concept.
Yes.
So we provide
I want to know what happens to an entrepreneur after graduation.
Yes.
Of course, the policy you have just explained must have been adhered to, and he's now graduating.
Yes.
What next?
Two things. Number one, while in the center, he enjoys a lot of subsidies, such that he can get something capable of becoming a small working capital, apart from what government gives. Like we have the Presidential Standing Committee on Inventions and Innovations, the two honorable ministers of Science and Technology made this provision, and entrepreneurs that have excelled normally enjoy this facility. That is number one. Number two, the host states normally provide a land where the graduating entrepreneurs relocate. You know, land allocation is very complex. It doesn't have to be in one place.
Exactly.
For example, Lagos State Government provided for Lagos Technology Incubation Center 2, Matori and Imota. Ogun State in Abeokuta provided a place for relocation at a place called Onijogojogo. Kano State provided a place in where we call Dawakinkudu, and so on and so forth. Where the state government fails, that means the entrepreneur after graduating will just move to another state and will start paying taxes.
Pay taxes,
exactly.
States,
so the states are keenly interested. And that is the reason why in all the places where we have technology incubation centers, it is the states that are providing the land without any quarrel.
Well, okay.
Yes.
All right. The DG, National Board for Technology Incubation, I'd like to thank you for coming on this program. Well, we are hoping that at some point in our history, Nigerians will begin to enjoy made in Nigeria, cars made in Nigeria, machinery made in Nigeria, products of all sorts, right?
Nigerians are already enjoying, but they will enjoy more.
More, exactly. Yes. All right. Dr. Mohamed Jibrin,
yes.
Thank you again for coming.
Thank you very much.
This is Weekend File. Next, let's take sports.
24 years ago, Nigeria's dream team